investments in plants and equipment through 2011. But my next guest says these tax credits aren't silver bullets for job creation because they don't spur demand that small businesses really need. With me now, Lloyd Chapman, president of the American Small Business League. Lloyd, I think you hit on something very important there. Demand. It doesn't matter, in my mind, how great the roads are if we don't have trucks taking products and goods across them.
Absolutely. I actually think that President Obama, Congress, and a lot of people in the media are missing out on a very important point, and that is that small businesses create 90% of all net new jobs. And the programs President Obama are talking about really are going to shift money more to large corporations, which I think is really not going to work that much. And I think a lot of research has shown that the tax cuts are really not the most effective way to create jobs. If President Obama wants to create jobs, it's real simple, it's easy. He needs to take existing federal spending and direct it to small businesses. In fact, there's a federal law that says 23% of all government contracts should go to small businesses. There's been a dozen investigations show that that's not happening. And small businesses are losing out on probably about $180 billion a year in contracts that should be going to them, but are being diverted to large corporations. So that would be the most effective way to take existing infrastructure spending.
Let me stop you for a second, Lloyd, because you said something there. You said something there I found very interesting. Okay, 23%. Is the reason that the money isn't going to these small businesses is because they're not unionized? I mean, why is this happening?
Well, there's a number of reasons. The Inspector General for the SBA says that in many cases it's fraud. It's through loopholes that have been created that allow Fortune 500 firms and some of the biggest companies in Europe and Asia to get small business contracts. But President Obama could fix that tomorrow morning with an executive order. Our new SBA policy, he could simply say the federal government will no longer report awards to publicly traded firms as small business awards. He could do it a number of different ways, but it's really the most efficient, effective, deficit-neutral way. No new taxes, no new spending. Just quit getting federal small business contracts to Fortune 500 firms. It'll create more jobs than anything he's ever spoken about.
Why has it been so hard for the small business community to get the president to listen to their pleas?
They're not giving money to his campaign. You know?
Hey, short and sweet. I guess that's so if that's the dilemma, how do you ever overcome it?
You know, it's hard. It's very hard. Small businesses don't really have a voice in Washington that they should. Like I said, most Americans work for small businesses. But when you look at the economic stimulus in the last 2 or 3 years, small businesses have gotten maybe 3%. But it's really time for President Obama and Congress and the mainstream media to realize small businesses are the job creators of America. They are the engine of economic growth, and they need some money. They need their contracts.
You know, I got to tell you, Lloyd, I find the SBA to be very antiquated. Doesn't that need a major shakeup as well?
Well, no, I wouldn't say they're antiquated. The SBA is not what people think it is. You think the SBA is there to help small businesses. The SBA is there to help the government. So right now, while we're talking here in America, about $1 million a minute in government small business contracts are being diverted to large corporations around the world, and the Small Business Administration came up with those policies. So in my opinion, my humble opinion, is that the SBA is one of the most anti-small business organizations in the country. And it needs a complete overhaul from top to bottom.
Yeah, there's a lot of overhauling that needs to go on. And listen, you small business guys, scrape together your nickels so you can get a little influence out there, okay?
All right, so we can buy some.
But hey, everybody else is. Well, the president is pushing for a big tax break for business, but would it be more effective if the economy